Welcome to our Old Testament Bible quiz. We've crafted 50 challenging questions covering everything from creation to prophecy, designed to deepen your knowledge of these ancient texts. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support enables us to keep sharing valuable insights from the scriptures. After completing the quiz, don't forget to comment with your results or score. We'd love to hear how you did. Ready to test your Old Testament knowledge? Let's get started. Question 1. Who was the oldest person mentioned in the Old Testament, and how old was he when he died? A. Enoch. B. Methuselah. C. Lamech. D. Noah. Answer: B. Methuselah. Methuselah is known for his longevity, living to the age of 969 years, making him the oldest person mentioned in the Bible. His lifespan is noted in Genesis 5:27. Question 2. What are the names of Noah's 3 sons? A. Shem, Ham, Japheth. B. Abel, Seth, Enosh. C. Reuben, Simeon, Levi. D. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Answer: A. Shem, Ham, Japheth. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, who are mentioned several times in the context of Noah's story in the book of Genesis. They played a critical role in repopulating the earth after the flood. Question 3. Who was the first king of Israel according to the Old Testament? A. Solomon. B. Saul. C. David. D. Samuel. Answer: B. Saul. Saul was the first king of Israel, anointed by the prophet Samuel as per God's instruction. His story is detailed in the first book of Samuel in the Old Testament. Question 4. What significant event does the rainbow symbolize in the story of Noah? A. God's promise to send rain. B. God's wrath on humanity. C. God's promise never to flood the earth again. D. God's creation of the sea. Answer: C. God's promise never to flood the earth again. The rainbow is a sign of God's covenant with Noah and all living creatures that he would never again flood the entire earth. This covenant is detailed in Genesis 9:13-17. Question 5. How many plagues did God send upon Egypt in the book of Exodus? A. 10. B. 7. C. 12. D. 9. Answer: A. 10. God sent 10 plagues upon Egypt, each demonstrating his power over the gods of Egypt and securing the release of the Israelites from slavery, as recorded in the book of Exodus. Question 6. What type of wood was used to build Noah's Ark? A. Oak. B. Gopher. C. Cedar. D. Acacia. Answer: B. Gopher. Noah's Ark was built using gopher wood, according to God's specific instructions in Genesis 6:14. Question 7. Who was Isaac's wife? A. Sarah. B. Rebekah. C. Rachel. D. Leah. Answer: B. Rebekah. Isaac married Rebekah, and their story, including how Rebekah was chosen to be Isaac's wife, is narrated in Genesis 24. Question 8. Which Old Testament book is known for its exploration of the meaning of life and the best way to live? A. Psalms. B. Proverbs. C. Ecclesiastes. D. Job. Answer: C. Ecclesiastes. The book of Ecclesiastes explores deep questions about the meaning of life and the best way to live, often employing a philosophical and reflective tone. Question 9. Who interpreted the dreams of a pharaoh, which predicted 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine? A. Moses. B. Aaron. C. Joseph. D. Daniel. Answer: C. Joseph. Joseph's interpretation of Pharaoh's dreams about 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine is a key event in his rise to power in Egypt, as detailed in Genesis 41. Question 10. In the book of Daniel, who was thrown into the lion's den? A. Shadrach. B. Meshach. C. Abednego. D. Daniel. Answer: D. Daniel. Daniel was thrown into the lion's den as a result of a decree issued by King Darius, but he was miraculously saved by God, as described in Daniel 6. Question 11. Which 2 Old Testament figures were taken up to heaven without dying? A. Moses and Joshua. B. Elijah and Elisha. C. Enoch and Elijah. D. Samuel and Saul. Answer: C. Enoch and Elijah. Enoch and Elijah are the 2 individuals in the Old Testament who were taken up to heaven without experiencing death, illustrating unique acts of divine favor. Question 12. What was the main language in which the Old Testament was originally written? A. Greek. B. Aramaic. C. Hebrew. D. Latin. Answer: C. Hebrew. The majority of the Old Testament was written in Hebrew, which was the ancient language of the Jewish people. Question 13. What was the first thing that God created, according to Genesis? A. Light. B. Water. C. Heaven. D. Earth. Answer: A. Light. According to Genesis 1-3, the first thing God created was light, saying, "Let there be light," and there was light. Question 14. Who was the mother of Ishmael? A. Sarah. B. Hagar. C. Keturah. D. Rebekah. Answer: B. Hagar. Ishmael's mother was Hagar, who was Sarah's maidservant. Sarah gave Hagar to her husband Abraham to bear a child, as recounted in Genesis 16. Question 15. Which Old Testament character is known for his extraordinary strength? A. David. B. Samson. C. Goliath. D. Saul. Answer: B. Samson. Samson is famous for his extraordinary physical strength, which he used to combat his enemies and perform feats such as tearing a lion apart with his bare hands, as described in the book of Judges. Question 16. What city was Jonah told to go to in order to preach repentance? A. Jerusalem. B. Nineveh. C. Bethlehem. D. Jericho. Answer: B. Nineveh. God commanded Jonah to go to Nineveh to preach repentance to its people. Jonah initially fled from this mission, leading to his encounter with a great fish. Question 17. What was used to seal the stone of Daniel's den? A. A wooden plank. B. Iron bars. C. A signet ring. D. A large rock. Answer: C. A signet ring. The stone of Daniel's den was sealed with a signet ring, used by both King Darius and his lords to secure the entrance, ensuring that no one could intervene in Daniel's fate. Question 18. Who was the first murderer mentioned in the Bible? A. Cain. B. Lamech, C. Abel, D. Esau. Answer: A. Cain. Cain was the first murderer mentioned in the Bible, who killed his brother Abel out of jealousy over God's favor of Abel's offering. Question 19. How many books are there in the Old Testament? A. 39, B. 27, C. 66, D. 12. Answer: A. 39. The Old Testament consists of 39 books in the Protestant Bible, covering law, history, poetry, and prophecy. Question 20. What object is Jacob famous for wrestling with during the night? A. A bear, B. An angel, C. A lion, D. A man. Answer: B. An angel. Jacob is famous for wrestling with an angel through the night. This significant event led to his name being changed to Israel, which means he struggles with God. Question 21. In which book of the Old Testament would you find the Ten Commandments? A. Genesis, B. Exodus, C. Leviticus, D. Numbers. Answer: B. Exodus. The Ten Commandments are found in the book of Exodus, specifically in chapter 20, where God gives these laws to Moses on Mount Sinai. Question 22. What was Solomon famous for building? A. The Wall of Jericho, B. The Tower of Babel, C. The Temple in Jerusalem, D. The Palace of Pharaoh. Answer: C. The Temple in Jerusalem. King Solomon is renowned for building the first temple in Jerusalem, a significant place of worship for the Israelites and a central symbol in Jewish history. Question 23. Who were the two spies that gave a positive report on the land of Canaan? A. Aaron and Hur, B. Caleb and Joshua, C. Nadab and Abihu, D. Korah and Dathan. Answer: B. Caleb and Joshua. Caleb and Joshua were the two spies out of 12 who brought back a positive report about the land of Canaan, showing faith in God's promise despite the challenges. Question 24. Which prophet anointed the first two kings of Israel? A. Nathan, B. Elijah, C. Samuel, D. Elisha. Answer: C. Samuel. Samuel, the last of the Israelite judges and the first of the major prophets, anointed both Saul and David as kings of Israel. Question 25. What was the name of Moses' sister? A. Zipporah, B. Miriam, C. Deborah, D. Ruth. Answer: B. Miriam. Miriam was the sister of Moses and Aaron. She played a significant role during the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt. Question 26. Which Old Testament prophet married a prostitute as a symbol of Israel's unfaithfulness to God? A. Amos, B. Hosea, C. Micah, D. Jonah. Answer: B. Hosea. Hosea was commanded by God to marry a prostitute named Gomer as a symbolic act to represent Israel's unfaithfulness to God through idolatry. Question 27. Name the river where Naaman was cleansed of his leprosy. A. Nile, B. Euphrates, C. Jordan, D. Tigris. Answer: C. Jordan. Naaman, a commander of the army of the king of Aram, was healed of his leprosy by washing himself 7 times in the Jordan River, following the prophet Elisha's instructions. Question 28. Who was sold into slavery by his brothers and ended up becoming the second most powerful man in Egypt? A. Moses. B. Joseph. C. Daniel. D. Samuel. Answer: B. Joseph. Joseph was sold into slavery by his jealous brothers, yet rose to become the vizier, the second most powerful man in Egypt, after interpreting Pharaoh's dreams. Question 29. Which Old Testament figure had his strength tied to his hair? A. David. B. Samson. C. Gideon. D. Saul. Answer: B. Samson. Samson's extraordinary strength was derived from his uncut hair, as per his Nazaric vow to God. His strength was lost when Delilah had his hair cut while he was sleeping. Question 30. Who is considered the primary human author of the Psalms? A. Moses. B. Solomon. C. David. D. Asaph. Answer: C. David. King David is traditionally considered the primary author of the Psalms, many of which are attributed to his experiences and reflections. Question 31. Which Old Testament figure saw a burning bush that was not consumed by the fire? A. Abraham. B. Jacob. C. Moses. D. Isaiah. Answer: C. Moses. Moses encountered the burning bush that was not consumed by fire on Mount Horeb, where God spoke to him and revealed his name, sending him to deliver the Israelites from Egypt. Question 32. What ancient city was destroyed by God with fire and brimstone? A. Babylon. B. Sodom. C. Jericho. D. Nineveh. Answer: B. Sodom. Sodom, along with Gomorrah, was destroyed by God with fire and brimstone because of the wickedness of its people. Question 33. What were the names of Abraham's two sons? A. Esau and Jacob. B. Ishmael and Isaac. C. Aaron and Moses. D. Cain and Abel. Answer: B. Ishmael and Isaac. Abraham had two sons, Ishmael, born to Hagar, and Isaac, born to Sarah, who was the child of God's promise. Question 34. In which battle did the sun stand still as recorded in the book of Joshua? A. Battle of Jericho. B. Battle of Ai. C. Battle of Gideon. D. Battle of Megiddo. Answer: C. Battle of Gibeon. During the Battle of Gibeon, Joshua prayed for the sun to stand still, and it did, prolonging the daylight so Israel could claim victory. Question 35. Who built the first temple in Jerusalem? A. David. B. Solomon. C. Hezekiah. D. Josiah. Answer: B. Solomon. Solomon built the first temple in Jerusalem, a monumental project that established a permanent worship site for the Israelites. Question 36. What feast celebrates the Hebrews' escape from Egyptian bondage? A. Passover. B. Purim. C. Yom Kippur. D. Shavuot. Answer: A. Passover. Passover celebrates the Hebrews' escape from Egyptian bondage, commemorating the night when the angel of death passed over the Israelite homes that were marked with the blood of a lamb. Question 37. Which Old Testament prophet went up to Mount Sinai to receive the 10 Commandments from God? A. Elijah. B. Elisha. C. Moses. D. Aaron. Answer: C. Moses. Moses went up to Mount Sinai, where he received the 10 Commandments directly from God, foundational laws for the Israelite community. Question 38. What was the name of the queen who visited Solomon to test his wisdom? A. Queen of Sheba. B. Queen Esther. C. Queen Jezebel. D. Queen Athaliah. Answer. A. Queen of Sheba. The Queen of Sheba visited King Solomon to test his famed wisdom, bringing many gifts and proposing riddles and questions to assess his knowledge and judgment. Question 39. Who was the father of King David? A. Jesse. B. Samuel. C. Saul. D. Eli. Answer. A. Jesse. Jesse was the father of King David. David was the youngest of Jesse's sons, anointed by Samuel to be king after Saul. Question 40. Which Old Testament figure's name was changed to Israel? A. Abram. B. Jacob. C. Saul. D. Simon. Answer. B. Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel after wrestling with an angel, symbolizing his struggles with God and humans and prevailing. Question 41. Which prophet had a vision of dry bones coming to life? A. Isaiah. B. Ezekiel. C. Jeremiah. D. Daniel. Answer. B. Ezekiel. Ezekiel had a vision of dry bones coming to life in Ezekiel 37:1-14. This vision symbolizes the restoration of Israel. Ezekiel prophesied to the bones, and they came together, grew flesh, and were covered with skin, representing God's promise to bring the people of Israel back to their land and restore them as a nation. Question 42. How many days and nights did it rain during the flood in the time of Noah? A. 40 days and 40 nights. B. 30 days and 30 nights. C. 50 days and 50 nights. D. 20 days and 20 nights. Answer. A. 40 days and 40 nights. Genesis 7:12 states, "And rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights." This period of continuous rain led to the flood that covered the earth, fulfilling God's judgment but also his promise of a new beginning with Noah's family. Question 43. What was the sign of the covenant between Noah and God? A dove. B. A rainbow. C. A star. D. An olive branch. Answer. B. A rainbow. After the flood, God set a rainbow in the clouds as a sign of his covenant with Noah and all living creatures, promising never to destroy the earth with floodwaters again. This covenant is mentioned in Genesis 9:13, where God says, "I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth." Question 44. Who are considered the 3 patriarchs of the Hebrew people? A. Moses, Aaron, Joshua. B. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. C. Samuel, Saul, David. D. Elijah, Elisha, Amos. Answer. B. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are the foundational patriarchs of the Israelites, representing the successive generations through whom God communicated his promises. These relationships and the covenantal promises are foundational to the identity and history of the Hebrew people. Question 45. What kind of animal talked to Balaam? A donkey. B. A raven. C. A lamb. D. A serpent. Answer. A donkey. In Numbers 22:28-30, Balaam's donkey is miraculously given the ability to speak to him. This occurs after the donkey sees an angel of the Lord on the road and stops, causing Balaam to become frustrated. This incident emphasizes the theme of divine intervention and communication in unexpected ways. Question 46. What was the capital of the northern kingdom of Israel? A. Jerusalem. B. Samaria. C. Bethel. D. Hebron. Answer: B. Samaria. Samaria was established as the capital of the northern kingdom of Israel during the reign of King Omri around 880 BC. It served as a political and economic center until the Assyrian conquest. Question 47. Which prophet foretold the coming of the Messiah as a suffering servant? A. Micah. B. Isaiah. C. Zechariah. D. Malachi. Answer: B. Isaiah. Isaiah is known for the prophecy of the suffering servant, particularly in Isaiah 53, which describes an individual who would bear suffering and sins on behalf of others. This passage is often interpreted by Christians as a prophecy of Jesus Christ. Question 48. Who was the last judge of Israel before the institution of kingship? A. Gideon. B. Samson. C. Samuel. D. Eli. Answer: C. Samuel. Samuel was the last judge and the prophet who anointed the first kings of Israel, Saul and David. His role marked the transition from the period of the judges to the monarchy in Israelite history. Question 49. What was the name of Isaac's son who was nearly sacrificed? A. Esau. B. Jacob. C. Ishmael. D. Isaac. Answer: B. Jacob. Isaac's son Jacob was not the one nearly sacrificed. It was actually Isaac himself when he was younger, nearly sacrificed by his father Abraham in a test of faith, described in Genesis 22. However, Isaac's son who played significant roles later were Esau and Jacob. Question 50. Who led the Israelites into the Promised Land after Moses died? A. Aaron. B. Joshua. C. Caleb. D. Eliezer. Answer: B. Joshua. Joshua, Moses' aide and a military leader, was appointed by God to lead the Israelites into the Promised Land after Moses' death. His leadership is detailed in the book of Joshua, highlighting his role in the conquest and distribution of the land among the tribes of Israel.